Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we are back with another recording of Hearthstone. There's a new expansion, Kobolds vs Catacombs, out there, and we're looking at those cards. So to see them, you go into crafting mode and then you click the filter to Kobolds, and for good measure go ahead and just include uncrafted cards too. Last time we looked at the hunter cards, now let's look at the new mage cards that are coming up. First one, we have a very unique card. I've never seen this before. According to this, it is not a 0 mana spell, it is just a no mana spell called Shifting Scroll. Each turn this is in your hand, transform it into a random mage spell. But because it's a no mana spell, you can't play it at all. And this introduces a new concept, certainly. A concept of cards that could fill up your hand and yet not be playable, but I imagine, at least for the moment and probably for the next few years, even while this is playable in standard play, they will never come out with a card that says stop cards from shifting or silence spell cards in your hand, your opponent's hand, or something like that. So this card would never get stuck in your hand and take up one spot where you would have a useless card. Now that is a very interesting concept if they introduce that to reduce your opponent's hand limit by one card or increase your hand limit by another card. It wouldn't drastically change gameplay, but it would be an interesting, different thing to do. Next we have a more normal card, a 1 mana, 1 attack, 2 health elemental minion called Arcane Artificer. Whenever you cast a spell, gain armor that equals the cost. Not a bad card for the mage elemental deck, not a bad card for a mage deck where you're going to play a lot of spells. There is a strategy in the mage already where you can reduce the cost of spells to almost 0, get an infinite number of cards, and win the game in one turn. It takes a lot of setup to do it, but people have been playing it, and it can be very frustrating because if your opponent manages to do the setup for that strategy, they win usually in one turn, so they can go from almost dying, having 1 health, to, oh, we finished the setup and now we're gonna do 30 plus damage to you right now and win. Next we have a 2 mana spell called Lesser Ruby Spellstone. Add 1 random mage spell to your hand, play 2 elementals to upgrade. I could definitely see this getting played, and it will probably get upgraded to add 2 random mage spells, and then there may even be a second tier of upgrades. So who knows? We'll have to play these upgrade cards. I suppose all of the upgrade cards that I get are going to be put in new decks regardless, just to play around with them. And I suppose I have to build new decks. Well, I guess that's something I'll need to set up and just get rid of all my old decks and build new ones. Next we have a 2 mana, 2 attack, 2 health beast called the Raven Familiar. Battle Cry, reveal a spell in each deck. If yours costs more, draw it. Not too bad for a common card. I can see people playing this. There's so many good mage cards already. It's pretty easy to play mage, particularly if you're a new player. Giving more cards to the mage is a little excessive, but there's not too much more you can do until they introduce a whole new concept besides fire damage and ice damage and polymorph stuff. Maybe they could expand more on the polymorph stuff, but not by much. Next we have a 3 mana spell called Explosive Runes. Secret, after your opponent plays a minion, deals 6 damage to it, and any excess to their hero. Interesting. This is a new concept. So if your opponent plays a 1/1 minion, or even a 10/1 minion, that 1 health would receive 1 damage, and your opponent would deal 5 damage to their face, to the hero. I could see that getting played a lot, and it's not like the mage has too many secrets. So yeah, that seems like a good one. Next we have a 4 mana, 4 attack, 5 health elemental. They're trying to push elemental a little bit more, trying to fill out the concept of making elemental decks. I think that's a good move. It's called the Leyline Manipulator. Battle cry: if you're holding any cards that didn't start in your deck, reduce their cost by 2. This will almost certainly synergize with at least 2 or 3 big strategies that you could play as the mage, so I imagine this is going to get a lot of play. And it's relatively cheap even for a 4 mana, 4 attack, 5 health card. Play 2 of these and you could take a stolen card that was 4 mana and take it down to 0 mana. Next we have a 5 mana spell called Deck of Wonders. Shuffle 5 scrolls into your deck. Whenever drawn, cast a random spell. So it's not the shifting scroll, but it's a card somewhat like that. So I assume the way this is phrased, you get to choose the targets if there is a target on the random spell. And I'm not sure what the pool of random spells are going to be, whether they're going to be new random spells or they're going to be cards that we've already seen, like Fire Blast or Missile or something like that. Flame Strike. This is one of those cards that has a lot of questions behind it, so I'd want to play it until I figured it out. And since there's only about 10 cards for each expansion, with the exceptions of the legendaries, I imagine I'm going to get all of them, or almost all of them. Anyway, so there'll be a lot of room to play around and experiment. Plus, the solo expansion may just give us cards and let us play around with them too, which will be interesting. Next we have a 5 mana spell called Dragon's Fury. Reveal a spell from your deck, deal damage equal to its cost to all minions. Compared to Flame Strike, I don't know if this is really worth playing, but maybe. Maybe there's a reason you would need to do something like that, but I don't see it right now. Next we have a 6 mana, 0 attack, 3 durability weapon, legendary weapon, called Alnuth. At the end of your turn, draw 3 cards. So this is kind of crazy because there's no way to get rid of this without playing a weapon on top of it, and there's no way to use it. The craziest part is there's a legendary character that gives both players random weapons. If you got this on accident as a random weapon and you didn't want to draw 3 cards at the end of your turn, which would triple the rate of you running out of cards and fatiguing you, this would be very difficult to get rid of, because particularly if you don't have any other weapons in your deck. Like you could beat an opponent by forcing them to have this more than you can beat an opponent by playing this, and it's really, really expensive to play this. So this is a weird card in the fact that it's probably very cool, it's out there and it exists, but I doubt very many people are going to actually put it in their deck. I think more people are going to randomly see this if this is one of the random weapons that gets summoned more than anything else. And then finally we have a 9 mana, 3 attack, 3 health legendary character called the Dragon Caller Elena. Battlecry: summon a 5/5 dragon for each spell you cast this game that costs 5 or more. I don't think so. Like, I don't see any reason why I'd want to play this. That is way too low health and attack for summoning 5/5 dragons. And all, at best, you would have had to have played 6 spells that cost 5 or more by your 9th turn, which wouldn't have been possible. Because I don't know, maybe if you reduce the cost of cards, then it would still count, maybe not. Yeah, you would have to reduce them well below 5, and then hope this still works to summon 6 5/5 dragons side by side next to the dragon caller. And yeah, I just see no strategy there. No reason whatsoever. So the 2 legendaries for the mage don't even seem useful or playable to me at all. Which is fine because, like I said, Mage is already a very easy deck to play. It's for the new players. It always is probably going to be for new players. It's the first deck you get to play and have unlocked when you start a new account on Hearthstone, and so if they just want to have some crazy legendary cards thrown out there that nobody's actually going to use, that's fine with me. But maybe there's a crazy strategy I'm just not seeing on that, but I really doubt it on that one. Anyways, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.